Inini ndinobva kuZimbabwe Farmers Union. Msangano uyu wava 83 years old. Msangano wakatangira kumasvingo, very dry regions coming together because people had common problems. So when you have common problems, sometimes the problems bring you together with like affected people. Vanenge vachinzwa zvakafanana vanouya pamwe chete kuti vatange kuadresa nyaya dzavo. So wakatanga uchipiwa mazita akasiyana siyana, vana Victoria Farmers Association and so on and so forth. Vanga vari varimi vemumatenganyika ndo vanga vaine Victoria Farmers Association, vanga vari varimi vemumaruwa vaine National Farmers Association ichiri kuRhodesia uku. PaIndependence masangano maviri iwayo achibva atransforma yewekumamisha yakunzi NFAZ, National Farmers Association of Zimbabwe, yeve kumatenganyika yakunzi Zimbabwe National Farmers Union. So zvakazoitika ndezvekuti vaviri ava vakazotaurirana. Imwe yaitungamirirwa naVagapare, if you remember those names, yematenganyika ichitungamirirwa naVamagadzire. Then in 1989 they formed the Zimbabwe Farmers Union. But if you trace the roots kubva kwazvakabvira, you will count 83 years kusvika iko zvino. August 19, that's when the merger of the two happened. Then we also have the CFU, kubva kumashure ikoko, almost similar in terms of the number of years. But the CFU remained purely a white outfit, and even after independence, they maintained that. So anyway, this is just to give a brief background of farmer organizations. So when we talk about farmer organizations, the description of the work they do is exactly in that statement, farmer organization. We're talking about organized farming. We're talking about coming together, discussing things that are affecting us in a particular way and in a certain fashion, and then coming up with solutions. The idea being to raise one voice that represents farmers, that represents producers. So, if you are religious, you will go to church. And the reason why in church you say amen is because you are agreeing with the statement that would have been said. So, in other words, you are affected in a similar, in a kind of a similar way. So you believe in the same things, and you believe that your way out is definitely a shared, approach, a shared way. So it is important that people of a trade come together to discuss their issues, to find solutions on their own, and those things that they are not able to solve, they can then refer to other stakeholders who have other responsibilities and obligations to serve. So the organization is all over the country. We have our head office here in Harare, Milton Park, number 5, Van Pra Avenue. And then in all the provinces, we have provincial offices, and we have people who man the offices in there. In all the districts of the country, we have also offices. We have a very pleasant working relationship with Farm and City, and in every Farm and City outlet, you will most likely find a ZFU desk there, because we want to be as close as is possible to the people. And then even further into the wards, we have structures that come all the way from the villages. So the fact sometimes that people say, but atiskwiona ZFU, it's also because you are not looking for it. You will need to look for ZFU and find it, because it's very, very close to where you live. That reminds me of a scripture in the Bible which says, God himself saying, you see, mukanditsvaga munondiwana. And I sometimes look at that and I say, so katika samtsvaka atodi pano hatimuwani. Saka hatisina kuzomuwana zvichazodii. Same neZFU. Tsvagai munotiwana. So, from the villages to the wards, tinema representative committees at every ward of the country. All the wards coming together, forming district committees, and the district representative committees forming provincial committees, and out of those we have a national council, a management board, and then the presidium of the organization. So I head the secretariat of the organization, and I've been doing this since 2010, and 13 years going, so we need also other people coming in with new ideas so that we continue properly. Now, to the issues, I only have 5 things to share with you about a typical farmer organization, what a typical farmer organization does. But now, there has to be a background to it. Our agriculture is greatly affected, especially now, greatly affected by climate change and other climate-related disasters. So in other words, the ZFU, yandataura yekunana Victoria Farmers Association and what yeah, it must by now have evolved, because organizations must evolve based on the needs that their members, the current needs that their members have. Otherwise, you become irrelevant. So a farmers organization must be relevant to its members, and it must provide felt needed services that are close to the hearts of the people. So right now we are talking about climate change, and we understand that climate change is wreaking havoc across Africa. So I was talking to someone this morning who was asking me, what's your level of preparedness? And my simple answer was, let's not pretend that we are hearing of El Nino for the first time in our lives. No, we have had El Ninos before. Let us not also pretend that we are hearing of a drought or an impending drought for the first time in our lives. No, that is not true. How did we survive the past? What are our past experiences? How did we survive? Why are we still alive, and how are we still alive? You know, why have we continued to produce, and how have we continued to produce? IFAD came up with a very powerful statement just a few weeks ago, and they said that drought should not mean hunger. So with the knowledge that is available now, the technologies that are available, the farming practices that are available, seed varieties that are available, we should find a way around, hunger. We should find a way around hunger. So this is just to tease you on the climate issues. This coming season is an El Nino season. The first half, speculations around normal to below normal rainfall, and then the second half is definitely going to be below normal rainfall, outright. Now, what does that mean? It actually means that we need to do things on time. And atichapi mvura mazita, taimbozviita kare kuti, relax, iri kunaya, mukazona manaiwa musi wa25 October. No, this time mukatonaiwa zviri serious zvekuti mvura yamatowana is enough to cause germination. Go ahead and plant. Ndatadza here madhumeni tanzindagona. So it's very important that we understand that background. This is not going to be a normal year, and there is therefore need for us to ensure that we all are prepared in terms of climate proofing issues that our board chairman was talking about, to really be food secure at the household level and then be able also to market. Now, Farmers Association, in such a situation like the one that we will go through this the coming 6 months, we have a great role in ensuring that farmer resilience to climate change, is attained. We need to be resilient in here in the software, and resilient also with our hardware. So the production practices will have to shift in order for us to remain in business. So when we talk about farmers, we're really talking about business people, isn't it? So the 5 things, the number 1 thing, a typical farmer organization provides avenues for farmers to access technical information, be it in terms of production, be it in terms of weather, the weather information. It should not be strange to find that a farmer organization has a unit that is monitoring the weather patterns and ensuring that farmers are informed. So there is a young man here, Tadiwa, where are you? There. You will talk to him, he will put you on our platforms, but you will need to be a member first. You will need to be a member of the organization to benefit from the services, isn't it? Andrzej, mouya panapa, endiri mfundisi futi kuchechi kwedu, mukauya panapa, mchida kuna matre, musina kundipa chegumi. Zvinobuda izvozvo. So, but anyway, I'm just joking about that, but he will link you up with some of these services that we are talking about. In terms of adoption of conservation farming, there is a very interesting angle that I would want to proffer. Ministry of Agriculture, you please bear with me, I know Tinepfumvudza and many other things. But a recent research that was carried out by a team that comprised some from FAO, from our organization, and USAID, and We Effect, revealed that willingly we have 11% adoption of conservation farming in the country. 11%. Very low. So where I say Ministry of Agriculture, bear with me, is because I know kuti kune pfumvudza. But there is a condition yekuti munhu arime pfumvudza, anditi condition ndeyekuita sei? You should be singing this. Hey, makomba. So, in other words, mumwe munhu anogona kuti nekuti ndoda mainputs aya, best is ndochera makomba. Saka tikazorega kuuya nemainputs aya, munhu anochera here makomba uya akauya necondition iyi. So there is a big question there, and so the 11%, which is a very low rate of adoption, iri kubuda out of the research, iri kurakidza kuti we need to expose and share the benefits of conservation agriculture zvakanaka. So a typical farmer organization will bring training, education, access to information, and many other things. It will also bring capacity building, for farmer groups to be able to probing further issues, and then realizing some real, things, particularly to do with climate change adaptation and mitigation, in order to diversify and improve our resilience. Second thing that a farmer organization does, it's lobby and advocacy. Farmer organizations are not an extension of government. Farmer organizations are not an extension of government. They are pressure groups by definition. So in other words, they don't just agree with everything. They question things, they analyze things, and they bring a well-researched lobby and advocacy agenda, which is well representative of the members that, that subscribe to the farmer organization. So evidence-based research is our day-to-day work. Mu farmer organization, mu lobby and advocacy, amuna guesswork. Amuna zvezvo kuti ndinonotanga kutaura. Some people now, the young people, I was listening to one of the Federation of Young Farmers Clubs speaking, and he says, we want to make agriculture young. And making agriculture young, in most cases, is also a function of evidence. Zvauri kutaura wazvinzwepi, zvabvepi, zvauya nani, zviri kutsigirwa nani papi, examples ndedzipi, uye zviri kuaffecta vanhu vangani, zviri kutitorera mari yakawanda zvakadii in terms of losses, or potential profit yakakura zvakadii. Zvinhu zvinofanira kuti zvitarisiswe izvozvo. Muagriculture hamuna competition. Pakati pedu vanhu vatema titoriwo neproblem iyoyo yekufunga kuti tikashare information tinoroiwa. Tikangoenda izvozvi kubvunzana kuti saka gore rakapera makazobuda nematani mangani, takangokohwawo ndizvo. Kuti uti 10 tons, munhu anototya kuti per hectare 10 tons ndotovirigwa ndati wamochari. Titori neproblem iyoyo isuwo pachedu vanhu vatema. Varungu, the reason why vakanofoma ma country club, it was because they wanted to share ideas. Waona here pest yandaona kumunda kwangu, kana aibata ototi una zvaikaita ndeizvi, vachiti wakanwa doro ravo cool drinks vachitaurirana. Muri kuonawo season yakamira sei. Tinofanira kuva nemaplatform atinotaurirana pamusoro pekumira kwemwaka. Zviya zvokuita kumira uri wega ndo zviri kuita kuti pafamu parambe vachiita maloss. Kumira uri wega ndo zviri kuita kuti mainputs ako asvike kwauri achidhura, nokuti unonotenga 5 bags dzako uri wega, next farmer achinobudawo kunotenga 2 bags dzake ari ega. Maide mangosanganisa masaga enyu aita 7, moshandisa 1 transport youisa zvinhu nenyaya yekungotaurirana chete. So because we don't talk to each other, we've got a big problem. So lobby and advocacy, we are looking at my issues are pressing at that particular time within the season. Ma-season afanani. We go through the seasons and we analyze mafambiro ari kuita zvinhu, tobuda nema-agenda anozotibatsira kuti tigarisane pamwe chete navamwe. We also want to be part, Ministry of Agriculture, listen with half an ear. We want to be part of the inputs distribution systems of this country. We know who real producers are, and we know where inputs are getting lost. So to save the pace and to be on point with everything, let us work together. Third thing that farmer unions do, facilitating market linkages. Yes, not kukurudzira yatinoti direct produce marketing as a farmers organization. Our new strategy, we are still continuing the lobby and advocacy as our primary offering, but then beyond that we are looking at how we can add value to value chain development. So value chain development, kana uchita chibage uri self-financed, aren't you better off going the whole way, maybe together with other farmers? Why don't you process your grain? Why don't you package as meal? Why don't you sell? Why don't you slaughter your own animal together with other farmers? You own a slaughter facility. You slaughter your animals, you dress them, you cut my pieces, you distribute through your own distribution systems. Why don't you beat competition in there? Who said farmers cannot go up the value chain? Who said that? So I hear some saying, no. Farmers will just produce, but we also see Kutima farmers are settled with my costs. If prices increase up the value chain, the increase in prices is forced down, and the last person in the chain is who? The farmer, and the farmer must bear that cost. So we are encouraging market linkages. So Tadiwa again can help you to look into that and be part of the marketing ecosystem that is being generated. In Mashonal and Central, we already have a milling capacity. In the next few weeks, we'll be seeing our milling mill now going out. And then right here in Harare, we have established a meat center, okay? A farmer's meat center. So you can actually come and buy reasonably priced meat here in Harare. Branches all over the country will be rolling out as soon as it's possible. And all this is coming from producer associations. So we want to put money in the pockets of the farmers. That's what Vision 2030 talks about. So Vision 2030 singaisi mari muhumwe mangu asi chindiudza kuti ndiri middle income and ndinoda yandinovhunza pocket yangu kuti naye shamwari homwe, are we now upper middle income society? Zvichikonfirmwa nehomwe yangu ndotenda kuti zvaitika. The fourth thing is financial linkages. We need to be financially smart in many things, but farmers, we need also to be smart up here, understanding money. Our relationship with money must improve. kungoti matengesa 100 tons dzenyu matengesa mavhunduka figara mawana ipapo. The next thing totoona patowana mainini vakutointroducewa kuvana havando mainini venyu ivo vabva muchibage chatakarima tose hamugwari here mibaba imi. Iri business remhuri, it's a family business. Sei muchizonoita madiro enyu kuwisa umwe munhu pamusha pano neziya redu toburana. So we need to be smart in terms of finances. What does that mean? We need to be trained. So we know this current situation at the moment, mari iri kudura. If you are to borrow money from the banks, in Zim dollar terms, I think it's around 150%, which money cannot be used. I mean, for the Zim dollar, you can't use that for any business. And then in USD, even at 12%, that is far too high. We would want our interest rates to come down to about 3% in USD, or even less. So that will mean there is leeway for a farmer to make money. There is leeway for profitability. But thank God, in the absence of bank loans, we have schemes that are running and so on. We can try and latch onto those ones. But what is more critical is value chain financing. I'm also a banker. Yeah, I have a good 17 years experience in banking. Sometimes you don't even need to move a cent from the bank in order to run a value chain financing model. It is based on guarantees, and the farmer generates the actual produce. The produce is taken off by an off-taker. Off-taker then raises money. Everybody else is paid, and the farmer retains their profit. Isn't that a fair deal? If it is done properly, of course. So sometimes the off-takers are not trustworthy and so on. But I ran such models during my banking days, and I know they work. So we need also to stimulate the bankers and insurance companies to come on board, and also to financial institutions, including insurers. They need to move with the times. Akusina wana Mr. Brown vaingoti vakangopinda neganda ravo loan yotobuda 2-3 hours later vakutotenga zvinhu zvavanoda. Iye zvino ukangopinda neganda rako kunzi mbavha dziya dzauya batai zvikwama mubhengi tinorambidzwa kupinda imo nokuti nesuwo tine problem hatibhadhari zvikwereti. But if you come, we can work together in terms of how we can do this together. The fifth one, I had already mentioned it in my preamble, it is dissemination of weather information. To us, this is critical. Location-specific weather information. Kwete zviya zvokuti nhasi iri kunaya kwagutu, ndinobva kwagutu, asi kana ndibvi magutu yose, ndinobuda muward 1. Ndiudze zviri kuitika muward 1 nhasi. That is the type of information that will help our farmers. So I spoke in light of climate change, and I want to believe that these 5 typical things can help any farmer organization anywhere. If you want to be part of this movement, I gave you reference already. Talk to Tadiwa. He can help us do this. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you.